Good afternoon, parents. Happy Friday. I'm gonna actually flip this. Sorry. Happy Friday to you all. I'm just coming to do a quick video on each of the things that we did for our math. So I'm just gonna do just a quick example of each of them. And this was day one, so they needed to find the value of the underlined digit. So here, this one is 703,890. So needed to find the value of the digit. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that on the board. 700,000,3890. We needed to find the value of the 7. So what I tell the kids is to bring down the 7 and then just fill in the remaining zeros. So they're just gonna fill in the remaining zeros. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be the value of the underlined digit. Okay. Now, so we're gonna go to the next day. This was day 2 that we did. Was the value, comparing the values of two numbers. So number 1 says, how many times greater is the value of the 8 and 80,000 than the value of the 8 and 800,000? So what I had tell the kids to do is to stack the numbers, and we're gonna cross out what's in common. So here on my board, I'm gonna go ahead and write 800. It doesn't matter which one goes on top or bottom, as long as they have a line like that. And we're gonna cross out everything that's in common. So 8, 8 goes, 0, 0 goes, 0, 0 goes. So I don't have anything else to cross out up here. I have 2 zeros to the left, so I tell the kids to pull them out and to add a 1. So 80,000 is 100 times greater than 800. Now, problem 3 is combining a day 1 skill and day 2 skill together. So it's how many times greater is the value of the 3 and 378,015 than the value of the 3 and 65,302. So I'm going to go ahead and write both of those numbers on the whiteboard, but this is going to be a little bit of a 2-step problem. So here I have my numbers. We're going to need to compare the 3's. So it's going to take the day 1 skill of pulling that 3 out to know that that skill, that number is 300,000, and this number is going to be 300. Then it's going to combine the skill that we just did for number 1. So we got to still compare those numbers. So I'm going to put the 300 on the top and the 300,000 on the bottom, and we're going to cross out everything that's in common. So 3 and 3, 0 and 0, and 0, the 0, and the 0. So I have everything crossed out on the top. I have 3 more zeros left on the bottom. I'm going to pull those out and put a 1. So 300,000 is 1,000 times greater than 300. So that's combining the day 1 skill and the skill that we learned on this one. So that was a little bit more difficult for students because they wanted to just stop here. We have an extra step we have to finish comparing. All right. The next day was written in expanded form. I did send out a video, but I'll go ahead and do one more with a different example. So here we have to select all the options for all of these, and the one that equaled 58,473 written in expanded form. So they would have to go through each and every one of these to see which one is correct. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this first one. So I have 50,000. What I told the kids to do is, if they don't know or aren't familiar with place value, to just make a quick place value chart. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Okay. So I told them to just do one chart and to take each and every one of these and just to fill them up until you got to the end, and then they would add. So this is 50,000. So I'm in the thousands place. So I'm going to come and find the thousands place. I can't put 50 in the thousands place, but I can put a 0. And the 5 goes over, because the biggest digit that I can put in this box is a 9. Then I'm going to fill in the 0. So that's 50,000. Then I have 84 hundredths. Well, I'm in the hundreds place. So I'm gonna, here, I can't put an 84 here, but I can put a 4 here and send the 8 over. And I'm gonna fill in the zeros. So that's 84 hundredths. Then I have 70 tens. Well, I can't put a 70 in the tens place, but I can put the 0 and move the 7 over. Because again, the biggest digit I can put in here is a 9. So then I'm going to fill in the zeros. That's 700. And then I have 3 ones. 3 ones. So then I'm going to put a 3. I can put a 3 in the ones place. So then we're going to add these all together. So 50, I'm going to just rewrite it. And I'm going to add those together. 3, 0. Carry my 1. So then now we can see that this is not correct because I need 58,473, and this is the answer that I got. Just gonna double check, 3, 0, yep. So that is an incorrect answer. So that first one is not correct. So I would have to keep doing the same thing for all of them. Okay, the next day, we needed to write this number in 2 other forms. Now there are 3 forms. There are standard form, which is a regular number. So this one number is in its standard form. It's the normal way, we write numbers. And then what we have is expanded form, which is just like what we saw here, just with numbers. And then we have word form. So I'm going to show you that right now. So this is in standard form. We need 2 other forms. So our other form is word form and expanded form. So written or word form, I say it the exact way that I read it. And I tell the kids every time we see this comma right here between these 2 numbers, set of numbers, that I have to write the word 1,000, because a lot of them want to say 500,000, 87,000, 162. So I tell them to keep these together. So this number in this set of these 3, I tell them this is a family. This is a family unit. We can't separate it. It is 587. So I'm going to write 500. Because that number is 587, and I see a comma, so I know that I'm headed out of the thousands place. So I'm going to write 1,000. And I have 162. I don't have a comma or anything after that, so I'm just going to write 162. So this is our word form. So 587,162, 587,000, because we have the comma, 162. Now this is word form. Now we need expanded form. Now there are 2 forms of expanded form that we showed the kids. One way is a little bit easier, one way is a little bit more difficult, but both of them could be used. So we're going to take each place value, bring down the value, and then add. So I have 500. I have a 5 in the 100,000s place, so it's going to be 500,000 plus I have an 8 in the 10,000s place, so 80,000. I have a 7 in the thousands place, so that's plus 7,000. I have a 1 in the hundreds place, so plus 100. I have a 6 in the tens place, so I'm going to add 60. And then I have a 2 in the ones place, so I'm going to add a 2. So if we were to add these up, this is the number that we should get. That's a way for them to check their work. Now there is another way that they could write this, and it's taking this exact number, but it would be 5 times whatever the value or place value it's in. So this one would be 5 times 100,000 plus I have the 8 times 10,000, because if I were to multiply these 2, I would get 80,000 plus 7 times 1,000 plus, I have my 1 in the hundreds place, so that would be 1 times 100. I have a 6 in the tens place, so 6 times 10, and then I have 2, so it's not just 2, it'll be 2 times 1 because it's in the ones place. So plus 2 times 1. So either of these ways are correct for both numbers. Some students preferred this method, some students preferred this method. If it was multiple choice, they wouldn't have a choice, they would have to know both to be able to figure it out. But if it is just like a free response, they can do either one as long as it's done correctly. All right, just erasing my board. All right, so the next day that we did was comparing numbers. The students did pretty well with this one. We're gonna compare these two numbers. So this has a dollar sign, so we're just gonna ignore that. So this number is 2,212 and 2,600. So we need to figure out which symbol goes in here. Now, the way that I tell the students is you have to read it left to right. And our options are the less than symbol. We know it's the less than because if we put ESS, it looks like it spells less. It's also the alligator mouth is eating the bigger number. We have our greater than symbol. I can't spell less with that, so we know that one, or the equal. So the way that I tell the students is to go starting from the greatest place value, so that means thousands place. We keep going and until we find a discrepancy or a number that's different. So the 2's are the same, so I can keep going. Now I'm going to the hundreds place. I have a 2 and I have a 6. Now I have a 6, which means that's 600, and I have a 2, and that's 200. So we need to find out which number is greater. 600 is greater, so I need to say that 200 is less than 600. So I'm not going to pick this one. I'm going to pick the one that says less, so that when I read it, it's 200 is less than 600. And I can put less just in case, so that I know. 200 is less than 600. So that was comparing numbers. Another skill that students did perfectly fine, and I didn't really see any issues with it, was ordering numbers by least to greatest. So they just need to make sure that it's least to greatest and not greatest to least, so that they're reading those instructions. So we're gonna go ahead and do number 12. Those numbers are a little bit more difficult to see, so I'm gonna go ahead and write them on the board. I have 63,803, 65,014, and 6,409. So I need to put these from least to greatest. So the smallest one needs to be on the left-hand side, the greatest one needs to be on the right-hand side. So again, I'm going to be comparing place values. So I know these are in the 10,000s place. This one only has up to the thousands place. So I know that this is the smallest number. So I'm going to go ahead and put 6,409. So I use that one, so I'm going to cross it out. Now I need to figure out which one of these is larger. So I'm going to use the same method that we just did with comparing numbers. I have a 6 and a 6. So that means those are the same. I can keep going. I have a 3 and I have a 5. That 3 is in the thousands place, so it really means 3,000. And this 5 is also in the thousands place, so that means 5,000. So 3,000 is less than 5,000, which means this number is smaller. So my next number is going to be 63,803. And then my greatest number is going to be 65,014. Okay, so this is one you can easily make up numbers and have them put in order, as long as they're numbers in the thousands or greater. All right, our next thing that we did that we learned yesterday was actually rounding. So I tell the students, they remember from 3rd grade, 5 or more, let it soar. I add to that song, so it's 5 or more, let it soar, add 1 more, or 4 or less, let it rest. So we're gonna go ahead and round this number to the nearest 10,000. So it's 642,864. And we're rounding it to the nearest 10,000. So this is where the students really need to know where their place value is. So again, I tell them if they need to draw the place value chart, to draw the place value chart. But this is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So I circle the one, or my goal is to round to this value, and I look next door to the right. So my right is a 2, so I underline. Well, the 2 falls under the 4 or less, let it rest. So I'm going to let it rest. So I bring down these two numbers, the 6 and the 4, because I'm not adding one more to the 4. And everything else behind it is going to be a 0. Now, the same number, I'm going to round it to the thousands place. So 642,864, we're going to round it to the thousands place. So it's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. This is the one I'm going to round to. I look next door, it's an 8. 8 falls under 5 or more, let it soar, add one more. So I'm adding one more to my 2. So I'm going to bring down the 6 and the 4, add one more to 2, which is 3, and these all become zeros. So this is a way to show you the 5 or more, let it soar, add one more, or 4 or less, let it rest. All right, today, this is what we learned was adding. So this is basic adding. This is the one that I really want to focus on. Here we have 800, we have an 8 in the 10,000s place, then we have a missing number, and we need to solve for the missing number. So what I tell the students is that we need to start at the end and we need to work our way all the way through until we can figure out what that missing digit is. So we know that 2 plus 9 is 11, so I have a 1 here, so I would carry a 1. So then I would have 3 plus 9, that is 12, but I need to remember my 1 that I put. So 3 plus 9 is 12, plus 1 is 13, so I have a 3. Carry my 1. So I have a 1 up here where my finger is, and I need to get a 4 because I have an empty space here. So 2 plus my 1 that I have here is 3. So I need to figure out what number is going to get me 4. Well, if I put a 1 here, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so then I can keep going and finish it out. I know that 8 plus 7 is 15. And then we're not learning this till Monday, but I'll go ahead and do this one just so they can kind of get a jump start. This is the same missing number, but with subtraction, so I'm actually going to write this one on the board. So I'm going to write this quickly. All right, so this is the problem that we have, and this is subtraction. They haven't learned this yet. This is going to be on Monday. We're going to go over it, but if they want kind of a jump start with this. So 7 minus 8 I cannot do, so I know they need to get a 9. So this is going to become 17, and I'm going to borrow. That's going to become a 1. 17 minus 8 is 9, so that checks out. Now, I can't subtract 1 minus 8, so I have to borrow. This is going to turn into an 8. That's going to be an 11 because I'm borrowing 10. So 11 minus 8 is in fact 3, so this checks out. 8 minus something has to give me 3. So I know that 3 plus 5 gives me 8, so I'm going to put a 5 here, and I'm going to continue just to make sure that this is correct. So 8 minus 5 is in fact 3, so I'm going to check that one, but I need to verify the rest of it. So 3 minus 2 is in fact 1, so I'm going to check it. 1 minus 8 I can't do, so I'm going to borrow, make that 11. that becomes a 6. 11 minus 8 is in fact 3, that checks out. And 6 minus 6 is 0, and I have nothing in that place value. So this is what we're going to be learning on Monday, but this is just a quick snapshot of what we're going to be doing. It's just like today with the missing number with adding, except we're going to be doing subtraction instead. But this was just a quick video to help them. Make sure you're listening to part 1. I had to split it in half because if not, I wouldn't have been able to upload it. If you have any questions, just please let me know. Please remember the math review is sent in the newsletter. So if they want to work on that this weekend, they're more than welcome to while watching this video if they need it. But happy Friday, guys. We made it through the second week of school, and thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.